running away from combat and in turn from the campaign. I don't know if this counts as a horror story, but it left me and the other players with a pretty sour mouthfeel, so I will post it here and be corrected later if need be. This happened a month ago. I was running a D&D 5e campaign on Discord because all of us were far apart. I have been a DM for a while but also haven't DM'd a campaign in 2 years due to college and stuff. There were 4 players, one of them was new to TTRPGs and was exited to play, another was experienced and also very exited to play. But the problems came with a couple who wanted to play a very specific combo. I don't want to detail it in case they recognize this post, but long story short, I approve it and accept their homebrew. There were problems right off the bat. They took a while to come up with their characters, specifically their backstories. I told them explicitly that I wanted to weave their stories into the world so they would feel more included, and if they didn't, their backstories would have a deep impact in the world. They couldn't deliver their backstories until the day before the first session, and the guy delivered the names of all the important people literally that night. I will admit I made a mistake. I didn't organize a session 0 to talk about the story, the characters or anything at all, partly because I forgot, but also I trusted that the couple and the experienced player would work it out since I have known them for quite some time. Spoiler, that didn't happen. Session starts and I start with the couple. I introduce them into an alley since I asked where would they be, and they said there. They take a while to get a move on, choosing instead to roleplay with each other, but eventually they pick themselves up and move on. I introduce the other two. Sidebar: new player is nervous, understandably. It was their first time and I said it multiple times so we all were on the same page. Couple is not happy with this all of a sudden, and it shows. They refuse to interact with new player's character and instead decide to go away from the other two. I decide to give the new and experienced players time to roleplay with each other since they haven't had the time to do it. They take even more time, again understandably since the new player really didn't know what to do. After some time I made a cardinal sin. I railroaded my players into a combat encounter. I apologized to all of them after the fact, but as I said, it was my first campaign in a while and I wanted to show the new player how combat works and feels. Still no excuse. This is where the fan hit the shit, as they say. The couple decides to deke the other players and instead run away. Maybe it's true that all the characters didn't have time to bond or get to know each other. But D&D is a cooperative game. If you are playing with other players, is implied that at some point you would form a party with said players. From the point of view of the characters, maybe. But this is a game, not a book. The encounter ended up being way harder than it should have without them, and the players were down. I had to pull a Deus Ex Machina to get them back up and help in the encounter. At this point I heard "wow, so convenient" that the guards were here and knew healing magic OFC from the couple. Combat ends and I end the session there. After the fact they pulled me into DMs and absolutely destroyed me with criticism, which I get. I did less than average that time, and I admit I should have made more prep and stuff. But when I told them, well, you guys weren't very cooperative either, they responded with, well, it's your job as a DM to deal with it, which honestly made me furious. They told me they were out BQs. I didn't DM like they would have liked, and also they didn't want to play with a new player, which made me scramble around to find at least one more player so it wouldn't be a 2-person party. Was I in the wrong at all?